G'day guys, welcome to Rumble's Fish Room. So, I wanted to do a bit of an update on the fire situation. So, is the lens dirty? Basically, all of our insurance got approved and today was the first step. We had a cleaner in. So, today is the first time I've ever let contractors into my house. Every single bit of work I've done on this house has been friends and family and me. I'm trying to think right now. I'm talking every single little thing. Even the electrical, my brother-in-law and I did it together. He's an electrician. And I'm pissed off. So, basically, in short, the power's off. The pond's not running. The tank inside isn't running. The fish room might be running. I think the fish room... Oh yeah, the fish room would be running because I would actually get a text message if that turned off. It's on a separate circuit. But, so cleaner came today. He's high pressured everything. To be honest, it didn't make much difference. So like when you look up here, it's all still black. I thought the patio would clean up a lot more than it has. All along here is all still black. It didn't. Yeah, so I thought it would all just high pressure off. So I thought it would look way different when I got home today, and I actually had to think about the position of things on the ground, and not the cleaner's fault. Sorry, that might have sounded like I was portraying the cleaner was crap. No, I'm saying that the smoke damage is way more than I expected. So anyway, so the power's off. So I should really turn it straight back on, but naturally the first thing I did was pick up the camera and talk to you guys. So I don't know what's tripped the power. I'm guessing it's wet the power point. I'm really praying that he didn't wet my Wi-Fi dongle, because my Wi-Fi dongle is actually outside. Alright, sweet. It turned on. It's staying on. So, yeah, I don't know how long ago the power tripped. There is obviously the chance that the power tripped after the guy left, which, I don't know, might be a thing, because realistically, his high pressure cleaning, he needs the power to run the high pressure cleaner. Unless it's a petrol one, it might be a petrol one. Either way, I'm annoyed. He didn't clean the decking. I'm probably expecting too much. Obviously, like the sand and shit on the decking isn't fire damage. That's just us not cleaning up. So hopefully the Wi-Fi dongle's lit up, so that's all right. So next on the agenda, next week, Chippy is coming to replace the decking and resheet the roof. The roof is actually getting resheeted in zinc with just 2 clear windows instead of all clear, because this just gets way too hot. I'm really nervous about the decking. I'll show you why. Alright, so this is going to seem really over the top or particular maybe. I don't know what you guys think, but basically the screws. If you look, see the screws are like offset. I actually made a jig to screw this down. I didn't want the screws in a straight line, so I did the offset. Also, if they're not straight, the offset like throws you off, so you can't actually see it. I just really hope the guy who does the decking lays it in that same pattern. I was kind of low-key hoping the insurance company would offer a cash payout because I really wanted to do the decking myself. But it is what it is. I just got to close my eyes a bit, I think. It's really hard being a tradesman and having people working on your house. So I don't mean to sound ungrateful, guys. I'm super happy with my insurance company. They've been awesome. Everything's going smoothly. Yeah, I'm just nervous about what the finished product's going to look like. Let's have a look at some fishy stuff. We can't have 2 days with non-fish related content. I've actually come home in a reasonable hour, and you guys know what I'm like. It's really strange for me to not have plans for the afternoon. I wish the weather was better. I'd work on the ply tanks. So if anybody wants to know about them, if you look, they're actually upside down because the bottoms are finished. The inside is sealed but not finished, so I've just flipped them upside down in the rain. They can stay in the rain now. They're completely sealed. I just need them to be, I need it to be nice and dry to finish them. Alright guys, so I said I would get to some fish related stuff. I was thinking some positive stuff, but unfortunately it has taken a really dark turn. So I've just spent the last 20 minutes deciding whether or not to put this on camera, but this channel is completely transparent, so basically I've decided I'm going to tell you guys on here, but I'm not actually going to post it on Facebook at the moment. So I guess I don't even know if I'm going to put it in the title or anything, but I lost Elsa. I don't know why. Basically, she looked pretty average 3 days ago. Really average white poo. So I jumped straight in. I didn't mess around. Like, it was before work. I went straight down the medication path. I didn't even hesitate. And I put tetracycline in the water, which is basically the strongest medication I have. And I also put methylene blue in the water, which at the time, I didn't put methylene blue in on the first day. So then day 2 I put methylene blue in. I know it was risky how much medication I was putting in the water. You can see behind me, this is actually 24 hours after meds, and the water is very dark. So basically the methylene blue kicked in almost straight away. He had a bit of fungus on him, on his side, and the fungus disappeared and he was more attentive. He was coming to the front. So that was yesterday, and then this morning he looked better. Like, he looked probably 50% better. He still looked sick, but there was a glimpse of hope that it was going to come through. And then I've found with flower horns, when they die, it's almost like they have a last lease on life, because he looked better and then he didn't look better, obviously, now. Because it's been 3 days, I've come to terms with it. I think from a personal perspective, I'm sad because he was a pet. From a breeder's perspective, I'm sad because I can't replace him. The fact that I had just got a batch of eggs and they were infertile, I wouldn't say makes me feel better, but I was 90% confident that Elsa is infertile and would never breed. So that eases the blow a little bit. but I'm talking a little bit. I'm just trying to not bury myself in thoughts about it. So basically, what this means now, well, let's talk about why he got sick. I've got absolutely no idea. So, I put a new girl in there, but that girl came out of the IBC outside, and that IBC, I put wrigglers in that IBC, and there's never been any other fish put in there for any cross-contamination. I also put a girl in this tank here, and the silk's not sick. So even though putting the girl in that tank there kind of lines up with Elsa passing, I don't think that's what caused it. I'm actually worried that the sharp edges on my new divider that I made caused it. I'm skeptical because Elsa used to smash on the egg crate, and the reason I swapped to polycarbonate, or whatever it's called, is because he was damaging himself on the egg crate. So I also don't think it's that. Also, this tank here gets double the water changes of all the tanks here, of all the other tanks. Like, it was my most expensive fish. I had this water pristine. I cleaned the tank last week. There was no debris in it. I don't know, did I stir something up, doing a gravel vac and create some sort of spike? Who knows? It's the harsh reality of flower horns. It's too often, in the little group of people that I speak to that breed flower horns, it's too often that people are losing their favourite flower horn or their most expensive. I've just come to terms with the fact that if I'm going to breed flower horns, I need to keep spare of everything. So obviously I can't replace Elsa, but we can replace Charles. And I'm kind of hoarding the Charles not Fry anymore, the Charles juveniles. I've got 4 behind me that I refuse to sell. And last week I said on camera, like, I'm probably being a bit greedy, I shouldn't keep that many, but things like this make me think 4 or 5 is no exaggeration on what I should be keeping. I really need to think about things and the way I've got it set up. I need to get the ply tanks finished. I need to think about moving on a couple of African cichlids, and I really need to think about making more space for flower horns. I don't necessarily want to be breeding more than 1 pair at a time, but if I lose the pair, I need to have a backup. So, like, as it sits right now, I've got heaps of fry and that. I've probably got a supply of flower horns for the next 4 months, and I'll have flower horns to sell. And as you guys know, we set up all those new heaters, so I need to be moving fish to pay for the electricity. But so right now, the way it sits, unless I've got the silk up there, I'm trying to breed him, but he's an arsehole. If I wait for what do you call it, Charles juveniles, I'm at least 3 months away from breeding a pair at this stage, unless something changes. So if I wait 3 months, if I don't breed for 3 months, and then I get a batch in 3 months from now, that's only 1 month between when I breed the flower horns and when I run out of flower horns to sell. And I don't want to break in my flower horn sales. I think to become a reputable flower horn breeder, I need basically a constant supply of flower horns. What was my point? Oh yeah, so for me to keep that many males, I need to set up a space where I can have a couple of adult males ready to go all the time, you know what I mean? I feel like I've let a lot of people down. That's my biggest upset, because there were so many people waiting for me to breed Elsa. And I'm actually nervous. I'm ashamed to put this video out because I'm going to upset all those people. Especially Brett. Me and Brett bought Elsa together. We went halves. I did buy him out, but to this day I still classed Elsa as half his, and I was always willing to give Fry to him. But now there's just going to be no Fry, so it is what it is. I'm still going to chase Camphor, guys. I'm just going to have to figure out a different way to do it. There is some Camphor getting around on the East Coast, but we'll just have to see. It's just going to prolong it a bit. Camphor's my goal. I've proven to myself I can breed SRD. Camphor's a challenge, and you guys know, once I've bred a fish, my intentions move on to the next thing, because once you've bred it, you've bred it. And like half of the fun of a fish room is the challenge of breeding the next new fish. So we're still going on the Camphor route. I just don't know how yet. Luckily I've got a good friend like Zach. He'll probably watch this, but he's trying his best to get classic Camphor going, and I've done everything I can do to help him in his journey on that. But the plan was for him to breed a classic Camphor girl to breed with Elsa. But I guess if we get a classic Camphor, I can breed it with Charles' offspring, because even though Charles wasn't a Camphor, he had some Camphor traits, so I think he'll still be a good his bloodline will still be a good candidate to create some nice Camphor, because it's definitely in his bloodline. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap the video up there. Basically, I'm gonna clean out the tank. I don't know whether to cull the girl that's in there or keep her or quarantine her or what to do. I don't know. I'll decide off camera. But anyway, guys, even though it's sad, give the video a like. If you want to subscribe for more, hit the little red button. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.